You are not behind. This is a topic that I feel like is very important to talk about because nowadays people have this feeling that they're behind. They look at others and think, why am I not where they are? What do I need to do to get to where they are? Instead of looking in within, people are looking outwards at other people and they're comparing themselves like we're all in one big race against each other. We all believe that we're better than average, even though if everyone believes they're better than average, then who is average and who is worse than average? It doesn't make any sense. So by that same thought, we all believe we should be further ahead in our careers than other people at our age or even older than us. And it gets to the point where we're seeing those people who are way ahead of everybody in terms of people their age and just in terms of life and everything, and we're seeing them as average, and we're thinking we need to be outliers. These people are outliers of outliers, and we're looking at them as just slightly better than average. And because we are also thinking that we are slightly better than average, we believe that we should be at the same stage as these people. So I've got a few points that I want to talk about just to really get into this so that you guys can really understand where I'm coming from. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe. And starting off with number one, why and where do these expectations come from? So from a young age, I feel like a lot of people in my generation and Gen Z and now in Gen Alpha as well, we are seeing people make money online. Back in the day, people grew up wanting to be astronauts, wanting to be teachers, wanting to be engineers, doctors, stuff like that. And now, if you go into a school and you ask a bunch of people, what do they want to be? A good majority of people in the last 10 years, they would have said they want to be a YouTuber. They want to be a TikToker. They want to do something online on social media. And it's weird because we are the first generation to have people who are genuinely seeing this as a way that they can make money, which is good. And I hope to be one of those people eventually. But the problem that comes with that is that we are seeing people younger than ever making money online, and it's disillusioning people to make them think that this is a normal thing. Getting to the point where you're earning good money online, it's not that hard. It's a very simple thing and you should be able to do it very easily. I remember growing up, I was seeing mugs who was 15, 16 deciding he's done with school before he's even completed compulsory education in the UK, and he's decided, I'm gonna go buy a house off of the money that I've earned off of YouTube. And yeah, that's good and everything, but people are seeing people like that and being like, yeah, I want to be rich like him. Why am I not rich like him? And even nowadays, you got people like Rikai. Rikai is only 17. He's been doing this at a big level, at least like the last 2 years or so. So since he was about 14, 15. So people are looking at him and being like, why am I not at that stage? Why am I not earning the kind of money he's earning at that stage? And another reason I think this happens is because of dating. You know, we've all seen the jokes of people having to compete with people older than them when they're trying to date somebody who's their age. We all know it's true. The only sad part is that it doesn't happen from 18 onwards. It happens from as young as like 16 to even 14 in some cases. You will have people fighting with you to date that same person who's your age, who's like 5 years older than you, or maybe even to some extent you've got people twice your age, all going for the same child, and it doesn't make any sense. So people get disillusioned from a very young age thinking this is normal. So you will have a 14-year-old girl who will be dating someone who's 18 years old thinking a guy is meant to have some sort of money coming in. It's meant to be having a part-time job, have a car, be able to drive me around. At 14, you're still in high school and you're thinking your guy should be able to do this. People your age are not at that level. It gets worse as you get older and older and older, because then it gets to the point where you're dealing with people who are 30 plus, who are like competing with you. So what can I do as a 21-year-old to compete with a 30-year-old? We're supposed to be at different stages in life, because sometimes these people are going for the same girls as you. It messes up their mind subconsciously, and they're gonna start expecting what they expected from you as well. That leads us into our next topic, which is unrealistic expectations. People now believe if you're not rich by the age of 20, you're finished. They believe that you're done. Your life is over at this point. And it's gone to the point where this used to be mid-30s, 40s, like the midlife crisis used to be up there, and now it's slowly coming down. And now it's like early 20s. Even to some people, this goes down to like 18, even high school, like still like a teenager. It gets to that point where people now believe that that is where the crisis happens. They believe that if you're not rich at that point, you're ruined. you need to start over. You'll see it in comments nowadays. You'll see people commenting, I am this height at 14, am I cooked? I'm doing this at 15, am I cooked? Yeah, there's a joke there, but for some people, this is their reality. And this fits into the age problem that everyone believes they're so old nowadays. Like, people will be 20 years old thinking that they are old. I remember I used to think that I was a lot older than I was when I was younger. Let's say back when I was like 16, 17, 18. I used to think, yeah, I'm grown. And then I look back on what I was like then, and I still think that was a child. Now I don't think of myself as grown anymore, because I know like it'll only take maybe a couple of months to a year to a couple of years for me to be looking back and be like, oh yeah, the way I am now, I'm still basically a child. I'm gonna look back and still think I was trying to act a lot older than I was. And going back to the midlife crisis stuff, people believe that they should be hitting their goals a lot younger than is actually realistic. Most people believe they should be established in their career, ready to start a family by the age of like 20, 21, 22, 25 even. Nowadays, most of our parents, they were having kids in their 30s. Not everyone was having children in their 20s. Yeah, like if you go even further back, like they were going back towards 20. But now it's more like around 30ish, as people believe, no, that's too late. Even I believe that's too late for me personally. And it's just odd because we're at a stage where the goals that people were supposed to be hitting at 40, they now believe, oh yeah, I should be hitting this at 30, and now 25, and now even 20. And it's just, it shouldn't be like this. And it takes a different kind of level for a lot of people to really understand this and actually take it in. Because yeah, there's understanding it, but it's also actually making sure you're really believing it. A good example of this is with earning 100k. 100k a year, that is something a lot of people will strive for, and they believe that should be achievable. But if you really look at it, let's take two countries for example, the UK and the US. In the UK, from what I searched up, only 6% of the UK, that's like 2 million, are earning over 100k a year. And even in America, that's 18%. That means if you put yourself in a room with 4 other people, so there's 5 of you in that room, statistically speaking, none of you are gonna be earning 100k. And what does this tell you? That means that people believe this extra high level that only the top people are earning is average. A lot of people have this as a realistic goal for themselves. People will be expecting, oh yeah, you should be earning a couple 100k at this point. Maybe even a mil in a year. Like they want to be doing 100k a month minimum. Like this is not always realistic. In the UK, the average salary is around 20 something thousand, 30 something thousand, 40,000. That puts you above average in the UK. And people are thinking, yeah, I should be aiming for 100k. That should be easy. In America, it's like 60 something thousand, and they're thinking they should almost be doubling that as well. Yeah, that's a little closer to the aim, but it's still quite a bit off. And people are expecting, yeah, I should be able to aim for this, and it shouldn't even be that crazy. And if anyone wants to check those stats to make sure that they're true, I just did a quick Google search, and I know it might be a little bit off, but it's in the ballpark. So that's brought us into the next stage. I want to talk about a few people who have gotten rich later on, because people seem to think that you can only get rich young. But the reality is you can get rich at any age. It's never a set thing for everybody. Everyone is different and everyone's path is different. Some people, yeah, they're gonna get rich a lot younger. They're gonna get rich in their teens even, maybe even their 20s. But bro, most people, it's not like that. If you look at someone like Colonel Sanders, the guy who made KFC, he was old when he started this. He already had grey hair going on. He still kept on going. He still decided, I want to be great, even when he was later on in his life, and he still made it happen. Jeff Bezos, apparently he was in his 30s. If he decided at 20 that, oh yeah, he's finished, he's not going to be able to do anything great, where would he be now? Where would Amazon be? Amazon wouldn't be a thing. That delivery that you had, where would it be? It wouldn't exist. Even some other examples in different fields as well. You got people like Carlos Bacca, who plays football. He only started playing football when he was 22. Most people have already had a decade plus on him at this point. People start playing football, they get scouted from the age of like 5 to 10. And he started playing football at 22 and he still made it to the top level. Even another one that's more closer to home, Jamie Vardy, somebody who I really looked into when he was coming up and his rise to fame. This guy was 25 playing non-league football in the low tier of English football. He's played in like the 9th tier of English football, and he went on to win the Premier League, the best league in England. Went on to play in the Champions League, went on to play for England national team, play in the Euros, one of the biggest footballing competitions and one of the most watched tournaments in the entire world. Duke Dennis, a streamer, a content creator, yeah, he may have started a bit later. He still got big at like 27, and that is more relevant to what people nowadays are doing, because a lot of people want to get big off of like content creation and stuff like that, and they believe they're not doing it now, they're never going to be able to do it. Now, talking about content creation, that brings us onto our next topic. Not being at the stage that you want to be might be a blessing in disguise. People always say, oh man, I should have started earlier. If only I started making YouTube videos back in 2010. If only I started on TikTok back in 2020. If only I started earlier, I would be at the top with the rest of these people. But when you really think about it, all these TikTokers who started early on, how many of them do you still see to this day? Bro, can you even still name a lot of them? Besides Charlie D'Amelio, Addison Rae, the whole Hype House thing going on, I can't remember a single person who was big in 2020 on TikTok and is still big to this day. Why do you think that is? Yeah, they were cool for the time, but because they got big so quickly, they were not able to adapt in time. They were not able to move with the times and stay popular. The only people who are still doing well and still have money coming in like that are the people who invested correctly. Because let's be real, a lot of them, social media wise, they're never hitting the kind of numbers that they were hitting beforehand. And that's why you see people like Addison Rae. She's branched out. She's no longer a TikToker. She's an actor now. She's been on like a few Netflix movies, I think. Even if you look at her singing as well, she was nominated for a Grammy. And Alex Warren as well. He was in that same Hype House. I only found out that recently, and he was nominated for that same Grammy. And I just think it's kind of crazy that these people started off as TikTokers. How many people who were still there at that time are still doing big things to this day? You know, back in the day when you see YouTubers and they'll be doing like shout outs and you'd be like, oh please, I want the shout out to be me, I can really do something with it. Let's be real, look back at the way you were then. Would you have done something with it? Or would you have just let the numbers go up and then you see as they go down even faster than they went up? That's the reality for a lot of people. They're not ready, and that's why a lot of these YouTubers, they're very careful about who they put on, especially in the UK. If you look at like the Sidemen, Beta Squad, people like that are big, especially in the UK, they don't be putting people on, because you see in America, the people that they put on, sometimes they're not being terrible people. They do horrific things, and they're not able to keep up with the audience, and they just lose everything that the person's just given them instantly. And this is why you need to be prepared for your blessings, because everything coming in all at once, you can lose it just as quickly, and you don't want to be at that stage, because that is even more depressing than never making it. Think about that for a second. Would you rather not make it at all than make it and fall off to the point where it depresses you? Because that's what happens. A lot of people, they'll see the numbers, they'll see it going up, and then they'll see it going back down, and they'll not be able to deal with that. They'll think, what am I doing wrong? And then it starts to get about mental health, and then they get depressed and stuff like that. You need to think about that. That is not a good thing to happen. So you need to make sure that you're prepared so you can avoid that happening as much as you can. So that brings us to the last stage on what I feel like people nowadays need to be doing. You need to always believe in yourself and believe that you'll be able to reach that target that might seem out of reach to other people. You need to believe in yourself. You need to have that kind of confidence that people will think you're crazy. But until you get to that point, don't be discouraged. Always believe in yourself. I'm always going to tell you believe in yourself. I'm never going to tell you give up. You should not do that. But until you get to the point where you want to be, you need to be preparing yourself to be at the point where you want to be. And you need to do this so that you don't mess it up when you get to that stage. Because imagine getting to the top of Mount Everest and then you slip and you fall all the way back down. Yeah, it was great getting to the top, but the fall down is going to hurt way more than anything you experience getting up there. And another thing you need to know, always be progressing and don't take it too hard on yourself if you fall back. Yeah, you can take 2 steps forward, but sometimes you take a step back. But because you took 2 steps forward instead of just 1, you're still moving forward. That's still a step in total. So if you keep going like that, 2 steps forward and then 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, slowly but surely, you'll realize where you are is still all the way up here. And it's not down here no more. And that's the most important part. So basically what I'm trying to say is you're not ever behind, you're just in a waiting period, and you just need to make sure that you do what you can to prepare yourself for when you get to that stage, to make sure that you make the most out of it and you end up being what it is that you want to be in life. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe. I plan to make more videos like this, just sitting down talking. And yeah, any opinions that I do have in these videos, they are obviously going to change at some stage, so don't take it too seriously. I'm just saying what I feel like.